We usually think healing from a breakup is a loud process, right? It's all about the big talks, the explanations, the very visible changes. But what if the most important transformation, the real work, happens in the quiet? What if it's an internal reconstruction job that doesn't need a single person's approval? Well, today, that's exactly what we're diving into, that powerful, silent journey.
I love this quote because it completely reframes the whole experience. A breakup doesn't have to be this final, crushing end. Instead, think of it like turning a page. It's this moment of pure revelation, showing you exactly where something new can start. The only question is, how do you actually start writing that new chapter? And that brings us to this core idea, the unspoken language. So what is it? It's all the quiet, steady work you do on yourself, for yourself. This isn't about putting on a show, performing your recovery for an audience or trying to prove a point. Nope. It's about the genuine, deep-down internal shift that can only happen when you finally let the outside world get quiet. Okay, so our first stage on this journey is all about embracing the power of silence. After a relationship ends, that silence can feel, deafening. It can feel empty, but it's not. That quiet is actually an incredible opportunity. It's a chance to hit the reset button and just recalibrate everything. This slide really shows the critical shift we have to make. So look at the left column, emotional noise. This is that hamster wheel we get stuck on, replaying conversations over and over, desperately seeking closure from someone else. But look at the right, mental clarity. That's where the real power is. When you choose silence, you get to detach from those painful loops and you start creating your own closure. And that feeling of emptiness, it transforms into intentional space for you to rebuild.
So once you've created that quiet space, that's when the real work can begin, resetting your inner world. This is all about actively taking back who you are, separate from the relationship, and intentionally upgrading your own internal operating system.
A breakup leaves behind what you can call an identity gap. And instead of rushing to fill it with something or someone else, you can actually use it. This is your moment to reconnect with yourself. You get to ask the big questions. What are my non-negotiables now? What are the values that truly guide me? And maybe the most important one, what kind of life do I actually want to build from here on out?
Upgrading your inner world might sound a little abstract, but it's really about building internal stability, and it happens in 3 stages. First, you learn to process your emotions without letting them run the show. Second, you develop discipline, through things like journaling, to really train your mind. And finally, that work allows you to respond to life, not just react to it. You start guiding your actions from a place of strength, not a place of pain.
All right, so with a reset inner world, you can actually start laying a brand new foundation. This is where we shift from just mindset work to building real momentum. It's about turning the very real pain of what happened into tangible, forward-moving progress.
Okay, this is a really critical distinction. It is so easy to get stuck in that blame column on the left, just focusing on the other person, hardening your heart. But the real power, the real growth, is in the clarity column on the right. So instead of blaming them, you start to identify the patterns you tolerated. Instead of just hardening yourself, you recognize the boundaries you let slide. You see? You're not staying stuck in the past. You're using it to refine yourself for the future.
So how in the world do you create that forward motion? Simple. Forget waiting around for motivation. You build structure. You anchor your days with routines. You focus on something tangible, like physical training or developing a new skill. Why? Because structure brings back a sense of control when everything feels chaotic. That control builds momentum, and that momentum rebuilds real earned confidence. And you know what? That discipline creates a version of you that just doesn't need anyone else's validation.
And this brings us to the final and, honestly, the most liberating stage of this whole process. After all that internal work and building real momentum, your entire perspective just shifts. You start to redefine what it even means to win after a breakup.
Just let that sink in. Your evolution becomes the statement. You don't need to post about it. You don't need to announce it. You don't have to explain it to a single soul. Your progress, your new composure, your changed presence, that becomes the message. It's quiet, it's powerful, and it is absolutely undeniable.
Let's just be honest for a second. The old definition of winning on the left, it's all about the other person, isn't it? It's about making them regret what they lost. It's totally external, it's all ego. But the new definition of winning, the real win, it has absolutely nothing to do with them. It's reaching a point of such profound self-worth that their opinion, good, bad, whatever, it just doesn't matter anymore.
And that right there leads us to the ultimate redefinition, closure.
Real closure isn't some final conversation or getting the last word in. It's a state of being. It's the freedom you feel when you don't need to occupy space in someone else's memory anymore because you are just so completely absorbed and excited by the person you are becoming.
So I'll leave you with this question to really think about. What would change for you if your primary focus shifted away from looking back and wondering if you're being remembered to looking forward and being completely captivated by who you are becoming? That, right there, that is the unspoken language of rebuilding.